Ammon Bundy took a $530,000 small business loan, pardon me, from the federal government to start up his Valley Fleet Services, truck maintenance services in Nevada. This is the guy who is now trying to oppose the federal government because he needs something to protest over which to protest, whatever. While half of America is out here protesting because they need a living wage, or they want the police to stop killing us, or they want the right to marry who they want to marry. Thankfully, we took care of that, and we need some other housekeeping things with regard to that on a state-by-state level. We have people out here fighting for fundamental rights, the fundamental right to live, the fundamental right to have a living wage. While we're out here fighting for this, you have guys out in Oregon right now who are fighting because they can't get exactly what they want. They cannot extract from the federal government the freedom to graze on federal lands for free. They cannot get the right. They didn't get what they want, so they burned down the land in Oregon, right? Here, Ammon Bundy got $530,000 from the federal government. Let me ask you guys a question. Every one of you listening right now, what kind of business could you get off the ground running if you got that kind of handout from the federal government? We're talking about people who are wealthy already. Maybe they're not billionaires, clearly not billionaires, but they are wealthy, and they're angry, furious because they can't get that next thing for free from the government, while they're telling everyone else who wants to just get $15 an hour that they're lazy, that they just want a handout. While this vulture, Ammon Bundy, is sitting on $530,000 that he got from the federal government already, but that's not enough. They did not want to pay $1 million in fines for all of their grazing that their cattle did for years. That's not enough. They want everything from this government, while they're telling the rest of us we're just lazy. This is the same attitude of a Sheldon Adelson. This is the same attitude of the Koch brothers. This is the same attitude of the very people who are funneling so much money into our political system so that they can get everything. They're never going to be satisfied with what they get from the government, while the rest of us are out here just saying, for the love of God, can we get childcare for our tax dollars that we're already paying? Right? Must I pay $25,000 a year to send my 2 kids to school when I'm paying federal tax dollars every month? But no, I want a handout from the government because I want some type of structured program that's going to make childcare accessible to working parents. I'm the moocher, while Ammon Bundy and his ilk are taking millions of dollars from the government, and Sheldon Adelson and his ilk are taking billions of dollars from the government, but we're the ones that are asking for a handout. That's the attitude. That's the sentiment. And as soon as the government says no, or as soon as the government does something for Ben, give me a tax rebate because, I can't even, I make too much money. God, so much to talk about. I'm in that ugly space where I make too much money to get any child credits, to get anything. I owe the government money every single month. I pay them every single month. We write them a check, but we get basically nothing from the government that Sheldon Adelson doesn't get from the government, right? I don't get anything from the government than the guy who's on the street gets from we're in that ugly space where we owe the government and get nothing from the government. And that is a lot of Americans. And so while we're out here saying, can we just get a break so that we don't have to work 80 hours a week, maybe we could just work 60 hours a week, Ammon Bundy and his friends are over there pissed off because they couldn't get $1 million worth of grazing rights for free. And Sheldon Adelson and the Koch brothers are funneling billions of dollars into the election cycle and the election process in the United States so that they can secure getting billions of dollars. Let me get my numbers right. They're not funneling billions of dollars. They're funneling in tens of millions, almost $100 million into our system so that they can get a return of billions of dollars. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just, it's the same concept. It's the same greed. It's the same laziness. It's the same desire to milk the government for everything they can. It's just wrapped up in a shiny suit like Sheldon Adelson wears versus a cowboy hat like Ammon Bundy. It's scaled down, right? It's just scaled down for wealth. But the same attitude of the money and everything the federal government has belongs to us and no one else. And if you disagree with me, then we're going to resist with a militia, or we're going to buy out the paper and we're going to have our writers write something negatively about you. It's the same exact attitude, same exact mindset, same type of framework, while the rest of us are out here saying, can we just not have to work 70 hours a week? Now you tell me which candidate is talking about anything remotely close to that. Tell me, should we be here, Fox News? Should we really be afraid of ISIS when we're dealing with this right here, right now, today? Donald Martin says they're fighting because they feel they have proprietorship over the country. They feel that they own it. They feel like it's theirs. They feel like every penny that the government raises in taxes from the 300 million average Americans, all of the pennies that they collect from us, they feel like they're entitled to it in one form or fashion or another. And that's the fundamental problem. And so you get people, you get the top 1%, like the Koch brothers, like the Sheldon Adelsons, they have that mentality. But I wanted you to see clearly that that mentality runs down to even people like who present themselves as country bumpkins, but are actually millionaires underneath, like the Bundys, right? Their fight is because they want something for free from the government. And when they didn't get it, they became upset about it. Or when the government made a decision that they disagreed with, right? It's the government is good so long as it's serving us. But as soon as it does something we don't agree with, then their government is evil and we want to tear it down because it's violating our constitutional right. Like the gentleman said in the chat room, it's violating our proprietorship. Folks, that's all I've got tonight.